I don't really believe in holdout, but I do believe in that I put in enough quality work where I deserve to know where my future's at.
I want to ask about the Cowboys, obviously with Mike McCarthy leaving, now Brian Schottenheimer. What are your impressions of Schottenheimer? He's been in the building, you're familiar with him. What are your impressions of him now being the head coach and how he could take the team to the next level?
Well, that obviously him being an OC, we haven't fully built a full-on relationship yet. But obviously, we just need discipline. We need to hold each other accountable. We need to be attentive. We need to own our mistakes and stop beating ourselves. How many times, especially defensively and offensively, offsides, pre-snap penalties, we gotta just clean up the small errors, and that's how we'll become a better football team.
And now with Matt Eberflus being the DC, how much do you know about him? Have you reached out? Have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, we talked over the phone, and I spoke to Sean Lee about him, and a couple other players like Jalen Johnson, who worked with him over at the Bears. So I'm slowly just doing my research, but to me, it's just all about creativity. It's all about how can I be dynamic, open a playbook. I think I'm a D coordinator's best friend. I can do it all. I can do anything. It's about just putting me in the best position where you think we can win games.
You were taken 12th overall. You guys have the 12th overall pick again. What would you like to see the team do with that draft pick?
I don't want to put it out there who I think is some of the best players, but I think we should definitely go defense. There's a lot of good pass rushers in this draft. I got my eye on good 2 or 3 of them that might be available. They're too good. They're too good. And this is outside of Abdul Carter.
Okay. So your contract situation is fluid. You're in your 5th-year option now. I'm assuming there are negotiations happening. How are you approaching that part of your future?
Man, I don't really focus on it too much. Life's so precious, life's too short. I just live every day, just let my representation handle it. And whenever they're ready and both sides are ready, I'll be ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you intend to play it out. You're not thinking hold out. You're going to show up and everything.
No, I don't really believe in hold out, but I do believe in that I put in enough quality work where I deserve to know where my future's at.
Yeah, and obviously, depending on how much a team, whether it's the Cowboys or not, would pay you, the salary cap. There's a lot of things that have to happen to make a team a contender. But individually, you're undeniably one of the best defenders in the league. Do you feel like you deserve to be the highest paid defensive player?
To be honest with you, it's just a terminology that people use to describe a player. I think how I look at it is pay me to my value as basketball. Pay me what I'm worth. I don't want to be labeled as a defensive player, because I do more than just play defense. I play all over. I feel like I help expand. There's not much I really can do on the football field. So I believe if you think the value of me, I'm the best defensive player, I'm the future of the program, then pay me as so.
Yeah. Now that you've had some time to decompress from this season, obviously with the injuries that happened, it was a frustrating year. How have you been able to come to terms with what the year was and processing and keeping your outlook positive moving forward?
Yeah, just how we finished. We had nothing to gain by being those playoff teams, contending with those teams missing half our starters. But that says a lot about us and who we are. And those guys that we were in that locker room with, it really said a lot. And we didn't have to do that. We could have just rolled over and said our season was done. But the way we competed, that's going to carry over to next year. I think there's going to be a lot of bright side. Once we attack free agency, there's going to be a lot of bright side to what we did and what we accomplished and what we can do next year.
I know Cowboys fans particularly, they want you guys to go out and get all these other players. And the front office, it's a delicate spot because you are building a roster a certain way. Do you feel like this roster right now can compete for a Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last year we had 9 Pro Bowlers. We had 6 All-Pros. So to say that we're not contenders, there's a lot of teams that didn't have that.
Yeah.
And a team that had it this year was the Ravens. we got a lot of talent, man. It's just about we just gotta play better and we gotta stay healthy. Like, there's no excuse for how we played and how we performed, but we didn't perform up to the standard, and that's the difference in the culture. Yeah, you could blame it on coaching, whatever, but that's up to the players, man. Like, no matter what the play call is, no matter what we're doing, like, we got to play our game. Like, we got to play up to the standard. We know how. And there's an expectation, you know, when you put on that star, man, and you coming out on Sunday, like, that's a privilege, right?
Yeah.
So, like, everyone got to carry that privilege. So that's probably the mind. Like, there's a lot of people in this league that I do believe is, like, collecting checks. Now, I don't believe that's on my team, but, bro, like, you could tell that there's a lot of people that don't give the same effort. And I promise you, like, that's the sickening part about the NFL. Like, so many people take this for granted. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we just got to go out there and compete, though, at the end of the day. Like, it's a privilege to wear the star. It's a privilege to, you know, play on Sundays. And I'm going to make sure I take advantage of everyone I got.